Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. The SNP have announced all of their candidates at the forthcoming general election, whenever it shall be. There are 57 of them, of course, very much like Heinz, and believe you me, there's quite a few baked beans in this one. We're going to go through and have a look. It's not a big piece, but it is something I think you need to know, because you need to know who you're not going to vote for. You need to look to see who you've got to vote against, and look at these people and wonder how on earth many of them are even eligible as being politicians, MPs, because they're all pretty dim or non-existent or very low profile. Some of them, some old faces, of course. Some of them brand new, because so many people are leaving and abandoning the party, probably because they know they're not going to win the seat. The likes of Mary Black, for example, will be going. But let's have a look at this current crop of losers and make sure you know which way you've got to vote so that they don't get into any kind of position of power at all. And of course, the more you can keep out, the closer and quicker the end of the SNP comes. As Craig and I are both pushing this, Craig Houston, for those who aren't regular, two different channels, but we have the same thing in common. We want to see the arse end of the SNP, but not just them voted out of power, but utterly, utterly bankrupted. That, of course, would be the icing on the cake. Let's take a look. So all the SNP candidates for the general election, and as they put, so you know who not to vote for. The Nats have announced all their candidates for Westminster, with some big names already set to miss out on their £86,000 a year salary and very generous expenses. And there we have a picture of the last intake, and you can see one or two sort of infamous faces there. Some who are no longer with them. Some have gone. Some who should never have been. Some are nobodies. Some are famous. And there's that Frankie Boyle on the right just there. No, of course not. Anyway, the SNP have announced all their candidates for the general election as the UK prepares to return to the ballot box. Depends. There's different calls. I'm not sure. Preston reckons June. He says that if the 1922 committee get enough people and get their letters in, Sunak will probably just go to the people immediately because he knows he's out anyway. Possibly. That is an argument. I still think October is favoured. I think he wants to see interest rates reduce, people have a bit more money in their pocket, feel a bit better. So it is hard to say, really, isn't it? Anyway, the SNP have announced all their candidates to say beleaguered PM Rishi Sunak is expected to go to the country in the autumn, and he could leave it as late as the first weeks of January 2025. After months of selection battles and internal wranglings, the Nats have finally revealed the 57 beans for 2024, including a host of new faces, as 9 MPs, including Mary Black, are standing down at the election. And of course you have the likes of Angus MacNeil, who jumped ship. You have Lisa Cameron jumped ship, so they're already down before going in. Of course, the great thing about Angus MacNeil up there on Neil and Ananier is that there is an SNP candidate, but he himself seems to be very much liked by the people there. And so that split between people who want to vote SNP but people who want to vote for Angus MacNeil may split that that independence vote, allowing someone in from either Labour or the Tories. Who knows? Who knows indeed? It is nice to see a split vote on the independent side, though. So if we can get rid of Angus MacNeil, that won't be a loss to anyone, will it? He's an awful human being. Anyway, former Westminster leader Ian Blackford is also joining the exodus. He's desperate, though, isn't he, to get into the House of Lords? Oh, he's so desperate, but they don't do that, do they? But it doesn't mean that Rishi Sunak, out of badness, could appoint him to the House of Lords in his resignation speech. That might be something. I don't want him to do it because I don't want him getting the money. I want him out of politics and all that. But it wouldn't half sort of rub the noses in it if he then accepted it. And the SNP would be really not very happy, would they? Anything that brings them misery is joyous to me. Also joining the exodus are Douglas Chapman, Angela Crawley, Patrick Grady, Peter Grant, Stuart Hos, John McNally, Philippa Whitford. Note, little sideline, Stuart Hos, he's leaving, but they've just appointed him to be the Westminster the leader of the challenge for pushing the Westminster election. He's sort of put in charge of it. And I can see the reasoning why. If you have someone who's leaving anyway, when it does all fail and go, completely wrong, he'll already be gone. And it'll just be quietly hushed up. And, oh, well, it was unfortunate, blah, blah, blah. Now, he married Cundy, didn't he? And talking of Angus MacNeil, as I was, sorry about this. It's a tangent off a tangent, isn't it? Super tangent plus. But, of course, he's now married. He used to be married to Shona Robinson. He couldn't stomach her, so he had an affair with a woman who was a reporter, Cundy, I think her name was. But Angus MacNeil was also banging Cundy at the same time, I think. So Cundy was getting it both ends, as it were, from the SNP. So he left Shona, and anyway, went with her and shared her with MacNeil. And then eventually MacNeil tired of her, and she was left there, worn out, and so she sort of stuck with Hosey and married Hosey. It's all very incestuous and nasty in that party, isn't it? But everyone gets passed around. Everyone's shagged by everyone else. It's a shame the whole country's completely shagged by all of them. Anyway, the sordid love affairs of the SNP. It's weird, isn't it? Anyway, with the final candidates now in place, the Nats also revealed that Mr. Hosey, 61, will be the party's campaign director. Bada bing, there we go. He is still perhaps best known in Scotland for his part in the 2016 love triangle. Oh my God. I tell you, I hadn't read this bit. I read this live. This is why it's called a hot take. And great minds, thinking alike. Anyway, this also involved Westminster journalist Serena Cowdy. I said Cundy. Serena Cowdy and the colourful Western Isles MP Angus MacNeil. The outgoing Dundee East MP was married to Shona Robinson at the time, now the Deputy First Minister, although he's since tied the knot with Miss Cowdy, who's now an SNP councillor. Of course she is. You've got to live off the public teat one way or another, don't you? Reacting to his new role, Mr. Hosey said, "I'm thrilled and honoured to be invited to lead our election charge, and I can't wait to get stuck in." Don't know why. You're going to be handed a plate full of crap, aren't you? Anyway, here we go. So, you can't get over this, the SNP some way. I mean, some of the things. Here we go. I'm going to go quickly through. There's not that many. I'll go through them. Some new, some old, whatever. But there's some that just need a quick mention and dispatches as we go through them. I'm not going to name them all. I'm just going to do some of the highlights. You can read them. You can pause and read if you want. But Anam Kazir bought the seat, of course. David Dugan, boots in suits. What an awful man he is. Brendan O'Hara, another one, a brute in a suit. Where are we? Some faceless people. Grant Castello, man, that is another one who'd never walked past a Greggs in his life. Bit dodgy background. Very dodgy background. Go and check him out. Kirsten Oswald, how's she not been arrested and charged under the branch form? No one will ever know. Her fingerprints were all over that. Tommy Shepherd, he of no fixed eyebrows, very weird looking man. Deirdre Brock, I kind of like her. She's not very good. And she cuts a pathetic little figure on a Thursday as she goes up against the magnificent Penny Mordaunt. But at least she does try her best, poor thing. If it all gets too much, she can always go back to Australia. I'm sure Home and Away would gladly take her back. And of course, Joanna Cherry, eyes past, we do like her. Alison Thewlis, another one, all intermarried and things. There's another one I wanted to draw attention to. There was a couple actually. There was two more I wanted to draw attention to. As I say, you can pause this and have a look. Oh, Katie Lowden, that was it. So Katie Lowden's back. She's going back up there for Rutherglen. She's going to have another go at that. I don't think so. She was absolutely trounced at the last election with over a 20-point swing. And I don't think there's any way, given all the other stuff, that she's ever going to win that seat. So that one's gone for at least another 5 years for her. And so that may be the end of her sort of aspirations to be an MP. Failed twice. Not good. She's not going to win the seat. It's nice to see there. Pete Wishart, he's on a sugary peg, isn't he? He's very close. He could be out. He could be gone. And that would be a stunning thing to lose him. And I think that, people in Perth and Kinrossshire, pull your finger out, look where you need to vote and get him out. And there is another one who's a bit close. Oh, where are we? Tell you who I haven't seen. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, there we go, at the top. Stephen Flynn. There we go. Stephen Flynn. He's another one. He's very close. He may not make it. And again, the people in Aberdeen, you need to look at what is the important thing in your community. I'm going to suggest the oil and gas industry, perhaps. And then you've got Stephen Flynn, who's against it, who wants to create unemployment, who wants to put you all out of a job and destroy your economy. Maybe worth having a little look to see who's in second place there as well. But there we go. There's the list. And they can all sod off, really. SNP leader Humza Yousaf declared, "I'm sure the whole party will welcome the news that the SNP stalwart Stuart Hos has accepted my invitation to be campaign director for the upcoming Westminster election." It's a poisoned chalice, isn't it? He knows he's going to lose. He knows he's going to lose big, but he doesn't want anyone important to do it. He wants someone disposable. And since he knows that Stuart Hos is going anyway, it's fine. Stuart Hos is ultimately disposable in so many different ways. Certainly Shona Robertson felt so. The general election will see many new seats up for grabs, with a major redraw of constituency boundary lines as part of a shake-up that will see Scotland go from 59 MPs to 57. So far, the polls suggest that Labour is on course to regain dozens of seats in the Central Belt and challenge the SNP for overall supremacy, likely to be the largest party, which will put paid to any chance of independence under that silly thing of, if we get the most seats, that's about, and it's not, it isn't. Anyway, look, there she is. What a loathsome creature that is. Coming up. What would be truly humiliating, what would be the best thing ever, is if you can get SNP down to single figures. Ideally none. Round number, 0. However, unlikely. But it is possible to get them into single figures. That would destroy them. That would destroy the income base for these people. They would literally have nowhere to go. They would run out of money. It would be the final end of the party. And it's up to you, good people, to do this. Look in every one of those constituencies. See who's second. Vote for the person most likely to take the SNP out. It's one election. It's one vote. You've got to do it twice. Once at the General, once at the Holyrood. Eradicate the SNP. Vote for whoever is in second for one election. Get them out, get them destroyed, and may their toxic, hateful views never soil the people of Scotland again. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.